Police urged to consider making fewer arrests. Well, I know what I'm going to do next time I'm in trouble. I'm just going to debate. Think of the overcrowded prisons, officer. Mr. Dankula, you killed 8 people. They work for the government, so technically they weren't people. But anyway, police urged to consider making fewer arrests. Police are being instructed to consider making fewer arrests because of the lack of space in prisons. In other words, let people get away with crimes. Right now, obviously, now these days, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the news. Pretty fucking hard to get sent to prison these days. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, especially if you're like a known nonsense paedophile, like an offending one, and all that. You could get caught with terabits and terabits of that shit in your computer, or you could actually full on nonce a fucking Wayne, and then the judge is going to go like that. Oh, but we can't. We have to let him go. We can't send him back to his country. They hate paedophiles. Good. remember when society was like that? Remember? I remember. But anyway, a letter from the National Police Chiefs Council, NPCC, circulated last week urges chief constables to think about pausing so-called non-priority arrests, maybe like speech offences. Maybe like that. Maybe let's not arrest people for that edgy little Facebook post or that little spicy tweet. Maybe we could stop that. Those aren't necessary arrests, and they also violate human rights. But I mean, it's not like the cops ever gave a shit about that. It also suggests halting planned operations where a large number of arrests could take place to ease the pressure within the criminal justice system. Suggesting halting planned operations where a large number of arrests could take place. In other words, organised crime. That's like big busts. So they have big busts, which most likely is organised crime or probably human traffickers and stuff like that. And they're going, oh, can you hold off on that for now? Wow, all right, I get it now. Oh, you're going after human traffickers. Can you at least hold off, guys, until my delivery gets here? I mean, I'm laughing. It's fucking tragic. They're all in on it. Every one of them. Anyone that wears a suit in that big fancy building down in London, all of them. Everyone. I'm convinced now. It comes as court cases are being delayed and some prisoners are being released early due to overcrowding in prisons. The government said the impact of the pandemic and barrister strike I never even knew there was a barrister strike, was putting pressure on jails. But Labour said the Conservative mismanagement of the criminal justice system cannot go on, which I agree with. Because what have the Conservatives done? Last 10 years. Name a thing. What have they done? Sorry, name one thing they've done that's good. They've done a lot of fucking shitty things. Name one thing that they've done that's good. You can't. Name one good thing a government's done in the last fucking 2,000 years. But anyway, the NPCC letter dated 14th May, first reported in the Times, said consideration is to be given to pausing non-priority arrests and any planned operations where large numbers of arrests may take place to ease the pressure within the criminal justice system. So this could be some gang of murderers or like a grooming gang, a paedophile. Could it be a paedophile ring? All right, okay, I get it now. Never mind. Oh, because we could just pause all that. Just yeah, you fucking dirty bastards. Anyway, it goes on to suggest a risk assessment should be completed as part of the decision-making process. I'm pretty sure, surely there's ways that you can override the risk assessment. Like if you walk into a room and there's 3 corpses on a floor and a man is standing there with a bloodied knife in his hand, you're not going to go, hold on, sir, before I slap the cuffs on. I need to do a little bit of bureaucracy. You just wait right there. Like, surely there's a way to go, nah, cuffs. Surely, but no. Bureaucracy. You ever seen Brazil? It's one of the central co-parts of the movie is bureaucracy, and it's hilarious. It's a really good movie. I can't believe I slept on watching it for so long. It's actually a really great movie. Public protection remains a priority and a considered threat. Harm and risk assessment is to be completed when considering any pause of policing operations, the letter says. So prisons are too overcrowded and police are going to be told to just not arrest people. Now, for what offences? Who fucking knows? But it's probably going to wind up being some pretty serious stuff. See how everybody always goes under libertarianism. What would happen if there was no police? What right now? Like right now, the police aren't doing fucking anything about anything. See the really serious crimes like murder and stuff like that, yeah, you're getting locked up for that stuff. But even things like rape, you're getting guys getting off with like 2 years probation and shit like that. It's a fucking joke. And everyone's like, who would police the street? Nobody's policing the streets right now. I mean, unless you say something racist to the corner shop owner, then they'll send out the fucking SWAT team. But as for anything fucking else, they don't care. They're even being told to not arrest people, which means the police could, in full view of everybody in the street, see a guy punch a guy and then he's not able to arrest him. Because he's like, it was just one punch, and he's rationalising it. It was just one punch. It wasn't really that bad. Find out what the limit is. See if it's like you're allowed 2 punches, I'm going to have a fucking field day. You're allowed 2 punches? Fucking, let me break out my old address book. I've got some people I need to pay a visit to. The letter is also informs chief constables the government was activating Operation Early Dawn, an emergency measure still in place allowing the delay of court cases of some suspects due to prison overcrowding in all English regions the next day. But it warns the measure is not a sustainable long-term option for policing, and any further deterioration risks public safety. It sounds like the police force is collapsing. Oh no, how terrible. That's absolutely awful. But then, Dank, who's going to arrest all of like the paedophiles? No one. They're not doing it right now. We've had this discussion. But without the police, we don't have police. Right now, we essentially do not have police. See, as long as you don't murder anyone, you will essentially get away with don't murder anyone and don't be racist, you will essentially get away with it. No face, no case. Like, the police don't even bother investigating burglaries now, which is why burglaries have gone rampant, because everybody knows they'll get away with it. That's why. It's a fucking joke. The document is signed by Leicestershire Police Chief Constable Rob Nixon, the NPCC Criminal Justice Lead, and sorry, police, did I read this? Probably, who cares? They write that on 13th May, 282 prisoners were held overnight in cells across the country. No comparison figures are quoted. It goes on to say that on 23rd of May, it is anticipated that pressure on prison cells will begin to ease as a new early release scheme comes into effect, allowing some prisoners to be freed up to 70 days early. The scheme was first introduced by the government in October, initially allowing release up to 18 days early, before then increasing this to up to 60 days in March. In a statement released in response to the Times story, Gavin Stevens, the chair of the NPCC, said, "We are working closely with criminal justice system partners to manage demand in the system and ensure that the public are safe. Policing will always arrest anyone that they need to in order to keep the public safe." Like, fucking don't. Including policing protests and events, ensuring that people are arrested as expected. Only if they are of a certain political persuasion, though. Isn't that right? Remember how Antifa, like, totally terrorised London for, like, years during all of that shit? Like, during when all that shit was, like, properly going down. And the police were like, oh, who is it? Oh, shit, we've no idea. Oh. But then there was the Tommy protest, and literally within 3 days, the police had arrested every single one of them. Right? Fucking, like, they don't even try and hide it. Labour Shadow Secretary Shabana Mahmood, good British name there, said it's beggars belief that police are being told to sit in their hands and ignore crime because the Conservatives have mismanaged the criminal justice system so badly. You're Labour. You're Labour. You're going to do a better job? No, you won't. You're going to let so many people out of prison. You're going to do the exact same shit. You're two fucking shades of brown on the same shite. Stop pretending you're different. Rishi Sunak's rap sheet now reads, the rushed early release of domestic abusers. Yeah, but the wives must have been cheeky. Onto our streets. Deliberate delays to trials and victims waiting years for justice. The public will be absolutely dumbfounded. This cannot go on. All of this can be solved with money, however. You can hire more judges, you can build more prisons, you can build more courthouses. Why is none of that being done? Where did all of the money go? Taxes have only fucking gone up, right? Things have been getting a lot fucking worse financially for absolutely everyone. Where did all the money go? Where did all of the money go, government? Into your fucking pockets. That's why everybody's starting to realise that the government is just a system for, like, schemy fucking car salesman people to get into, fill their pockets, fart about for fucking 4 years, and then fuck off and get a job at some think tank or bank for the rest of their lives after profiting as much as possible and leaving the country in an even worse state. That's what government is, right? You pay them 50 quid worth of taxes, you get about 3 quid worth of service in 9 months, of course, and they keep the rest. Where's all the money? There isn't any. By the way, the day's coming. Everybody stock up. The government even says, "Oh, could everyone like learn to filter and purify your own water and learn about tinned food and all that stuff? You know, not for any reason. Like, you know, we're just stock up, start stocking up. The day is coming. I'm starting to feel myself morph into Alex Jones. I know my physique is starting to get there. Me and my wife were talking the other night about how the moon landing didn't happen. The spokesperson said, "That is why we have backed our police with the officers and resources they need to keep our streets safe and are introducing new laws to lock up the most dangerous offenders for longer while delivering the biggest prison expansion programme in 100 years. Are there new prisons being built? That's the first I've heard. Wasn't aware of that. But anyway, we continue to see pressure on our jails following the impact of the pandemic and barrister strike and have initiated a previously used operational measure to securely transfer prisoners between courts and custody." And then that is the end of the article. I see the system is collapsing. There's no money. There's no money. All of it's going on benefits to immigrants that have never contributed into the system. The police are being told to push so hard on hate crime that they completely ignore burglaries and everything. Pedos are just being let out. Rapists are getting ignored. You know, immigrants that commit really serious offences like that Afghani guy that just keeps wanking in the middle of the street. And after he got out for doing that for like the 18th fucking time or whatever, they were like, right, deport him. No, we can't send him back to Afghanistan because they might kill him like for wanking in the street. Okay, well, they've got a better society than us then. Lord Miles has been rubbing off on me. But basically, like, yeah, remember when we were better? I remember. But I do see basically all the money's starting to dry up. Everybody's in panic mode. There's a reason Rishi Sunak fucking called a general election. He's going, hard times are ahead. Labour can fucking deal with it. You know, just in time for things kicking off again in the Middle East, we're bringing Labour back. But yeah, buy rainwater collectors from Amazon, and remember, filter first, then boil.